Welcome to my blog, directly from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Today I want to talk about social media, but before I get started, I just want to put a reminder out. I put this video blog on podcast, that's audio format. Just click the link below and you'll get the audio only. It's much easier if you're running or you're exercising or sitting in your car. So just click the link below, you'll go directly there. You can't open your computer, your newspaper today without a headline saying Facebook in trouble, nobody trusts Facebook. It seems like it's dire straits ahead from the social media companies. Right now, 2.2 billion people uses Facebook. That's a third of the world population. Instagram have 1 billion users. That's 1,000 million users. Twitter 400 million. And Snapchat around the same. But the claim is that social media is anti-social. Another claim is that social media is the instigator of fake news, and I kind of want to talk about all those things. Since Facebook got started for real 10 years ago, it evolved tremendously, and now everybody seems to use it. Here in South Florida, I'm deeply involved in the cycling community, and I firsthand have been seeing what a change Facebook have been doing to the cycling community. Before, people met up, they rode together for an hour, maybe for two, and then that's it. Today, a group ride evolves into a 24-hour thing. People, they talk about it before the ride, they talk about it after the ride, they share photos, they share videos. We even got a little contest going every time. So just the mere existence of social media have evolved the cycling community, at least this little event, to a huge degree. And it's the same for everybody else, people who collect stamps, who's into puppies, who likes to dig holes with a spoon. God knows what people are into. Social media connects people who are like-minded. Also, social media, they connect you with your friends that you haven't seen forever. It connects you with your family. You get to see what your sister, she had for breakfast yesterday. So the claim that social media is antisocial, that it creates loneliness, I just don't see that happening. Of course, there's people who get lonely from it. The reason is, back in the day when we didn't have any social media, we didn't have any smartphones, people, they had to go out on the street to play. And if you look at your kids, they go out on the street, they take the bike around. But when 7 or 8 kids roamed the streets on their bikes, don't you think one of those were lonely? Of course they were. Because that's human nature, And of course we got to combat that. But back then when 8 kids were on the street, one kid was a bit lonely because he was left out, he was too slow, or he had the most ugly bicycle. So loneliness, that's human nature. That happens whenever there's a group of people. Somebody feels left out, somebody is being bullied, and that's not a good thing, but it's not because of social media. But of course, some people are left out today on social media, and they sit alone because they don't know how to interact on social media. And to interact on social media, to set up a profile and to work it right and learn how to behave there, it's the exact same thing as when you taught your child how to behave in the schoolyard, how to behave out on the street, how to behave down at your soccer club. So it's just a new thing in the world, but the players in this new thing called social media is humans, just like the players in the soccer club or anywhere else were humans. Like in the 60s, when people, they started to move their hips when they danced to Elvis Presley, the British invasion here in America, when the Brits came over, the young people, they went crazy, they loved it, they went head first. And the older generation, they said, the young people, they are screwing up this country, we have no future. It's the same song every time 20 years passes by. Back then we thought the world was going to die. Right now, a lot of people, maybe the journalist who is 50, who is 60, they look at the young people and say, the young people doesn't get out any longer. What is this world turning into? Is everybody just staring into their phones? And if that's so be it. Just like when people, they started to dance funny in the 60s. You know what? So be it. The world evolves, and that's all what social media is. It's an evolution. The old generation, they criticize it because they can't understand it. They're not born with it. They don't have it in their blood. How to understand it, how to interact in that sphere of that new reality. But all the headlines to me is just plain wrong. There's no substance in it. The next claim is that social media have invented fake news, and we saw it recently in the election here in America when Donald Trump got elected. There was so much fake news. But remember, fake news is not a new thing. After the Second World War, the Russians, the KGB, they planted fake news all over Eastern Europe. They even planted fake news about the AIDS epidemic in the 80s. They planted information around the world that it was a disease invented by the CIA. Fake news, again, is a product of humanity. Humanity tries to bring your opponent down with all means available. So fake news is nothing new. Lies and deceit have always been around. But you just have to learn to understand that social media is a new platform where it's much easier to plant seeds of lies than it used to be. But that's not to blame social media for it. It's just, you just have to learn how to read, how to understand, how to interact in that environment called social media. So, of course, now the whole world is using these social media. The success, the love speaks for itself. Mark Zuckerberg, who invented Facebook, who run the company to this day, he deserves huge credit, and he deserves to be one of the richest persons in the world. Today, his net worth is $70 billion. He's the 5th richest person in the world. And you know why he's that rich? It's because he improved billions of people's lives. Every day, he improved people's lives. He have improved people's way of communicating with their like-minded interest, with their family, abroad and nearby. So Facebook and the other social media is a thing of success, and don't believe all the headlines. There's no substance in it. I just don't see it anywhere. Of course, also Mark Zuckerberg, he makes Facebook absolutely free. You don't have to pay for it. Can you believe that? It's one of the best products. People, they use hours every day. They look at it when they wake up, they look at it when they go to sleep, and that's not a bad thing. You used to look at your TV, you used to look at Time magazine, or whatever you looked at. It's not a bad thing, and it's free, it's completely free. It's a miracle. All the opponents, they say, oh, Facebook, they're selling your information, it's bad for you, it's like Orwellian society where everybody looks over you to know your slowest move, and that's right. But so far, this information in the hands of Mark Zuckerberg have benefited you as a customer. What happens? To me, I get advertising thrown at me about bicycles, about cars, about politics. You know what? That's what I want to be subjected to. I don't want to see advertising for nail polish. So that problem that I had before when I watched TV, I saw all kinds of weird commercials that I had no interest in. Now, the commercial that's getting thrown at me is tailor-made to what I have interest in. It's a brilliant system. Not even if it's free, it solves another problem for me. I get advertising that I like thrown at me. It is really a brilliant system. So don't put Facebook and the other social media companies down. They're doing us all a huge favor. That's all from today. If you like this blog, remember, like, comment, share. Thank you very much. See you next time.